Okay, so here is Winter Swans on page 20. You might want to pause and get yourself sorted with a highlighter, a pen, and turn to page 20. This again was something that you met as an unseen, but what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all your lovely ideas are now annotated in your anthology. So here we go. Okay, the first thing we did when you saw this poem as an unseen was that you split this poem into sections of the story. And for those of you who weren't here, here's the poem in full, and we'll talk about the way that we've divided it up. Here we go. The clouds had given their all, 2 days of rain and then a break in which we walked, the waterlogged earth gulping for breath at our feet as we skirted the lake, silent and apart, until the swans came and stopped us with a show of tipping in unison, as if rolling weights down their bodies to their heads. They halved themselves in the dark water, icebergs of white feather, paused before returning again, like boats righting in rough weather. They mate for life, you said, as they left, porcelain over the stilling water. I didn't reply, but as we moved on through the afternoon light, slow stepping in the lake's shingle and sand, I noticed our hands that had somehow swum the distance between us and folded one over the other like a pair of wings settling after flight. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to split up this poem, and what you decided was that the first section is all about a description of their relationship. We have a couple here walking, but they're very distant and apart. And that section ends until they see the swans. So let's write ourselves a description of section 1. Okay, so section 1. And what we have is we have a description of a couple's relationship. And they are distant and cold with each other. Okay, the couple are walking around a lake. Okay, the second section, as we've just said, is where they spy some swans. So now we have a description of the swans. And that section lasts right up until they start talking about how they feel now, and that's about line 15. So that's where section 3 starts. And from section 3 onwards, line 15 onwards, what we've discovered is that from their observations of the swans, they've now changed their relationship. And as they walk on, their hands are now joined and they feel more connected. Okay, so let's write that in. So, section 3, their relationship has now changed. And they feel connected. Okay, right, so let's go through and let's see what we can spot. So, the clouds had given their all, 2 days of rain and then a break in which we walked, the waterlogged earth gulping for breath. Okay, so you might have spotted there, we've got some personification of the clouds and of the earth, and you know that if you have personification in the setting, we've got pathetic fallacy, and the pathetic fallacy is imitating the couple's mood. So the clouds and the earth are suffering, just like the couple, imitating the couple's mood of despair. Okay, right. The other thing that is making this description seem very, very gloomy and miserable are the sound patterns. We've got some alliteration here: in which we walked waterlogged earth. Okay, so let's make some notes about that alliteration. The w, the long sound, imitates those difficult steps. Through boggy ground. And I suppose the symbolism of their relationship, that they are wading through their difficult relationship. Okay. You can also read some symbolism in the fact that they are travelling around a lake, the symbolism of the shape of the lake. They are literally going nowhere, that their relationship has no purpose, they're circling. Okay, so let's write that in. So, symbolism of their relationship. It's circular. Their love is not going anywhere. It has no purpose. Okay, so that's section 1. Now, section 2, they see the swans. Until the swans came and stopped us with a show of tipping in unison. So the way that they're moving is they're just dipping their beaks in the water and tipping. As if rolling weights down their bodies to their heads, they halved themselves in the dark water, icebergs of white feather. So this is the next significant description, I think. And here what we've got is an oxymoron. If you remember, an oxymoron is a pair of opposites. Okay, they are icebergs, but they are also white feather. So let's investigate those opposites. So we've got an iceberg and all those qualities of an iceberg: hard, impenetrable, mysterious, and we've got a feather: delicate, light, weightless. And the swans are both these things: mysterious, hard, resilient, but also delicate and beautiful, like a feather. Okay, so the swans have these opposite qualities. Okay, we've got a simile here as well. They're like boats writing in rough weather, and I suppose the fact that they're being compared to rough weather is that they can survive through life. If life is like bad weather, then they are resilient through life. Okay, and we get to the third section. So they've watched these swans, they've admired them, they've seen the different qualities, they've seen how much in love they are and how connected they are. And something about that has taught them about themselves. So now what's significant is as they move on, we have these sounds. We moved on, slow stepping in the lake's shingle and sand. Okay, so now we have alliteration again, but this time the sounds are different. Okay, so now their steps have become lighter. Lighter and softer. And their hands are now folded like a pair of wings. So now their hands are joined, imitating the swans. They're now, the couple are now in unison and connected. So, if we're evaluating this poem is teaching us about the power of nature, to teach us lessons about love, you could, if you're getting in your different interpretations, say this could be vice versa. If you remember, it was their depressing love that was actually affecting the weather. The weather was imitating their love. So it could be a different direction, and that love is affecting nature as well. And what this poem is teaching us is that love can heal. Okay, fantastic.